On Monday evening, the 11th of May, I was standing at the entrance of the lobby of the House of Commons doing my duty as usher. It was a little after 5 o'clock. The members had begun to arrive for the evening's sitting. I saw Mr. Perceval come through the door from Palace Yard. He was alone, walking quickly as he always did, his papers in hand, and a look of good humour upon his face. He had just passed through the first doorway into the lobby when, from my left, a man stepped forward quite suddenly. The stranger raised a pistol to Mr. Perceval's chest, so close that the muzzle nearly touched his coat, and fired. The report was deafening in that narrow space. Mr. Perceval staggered back a step, turned as if to speak, and fell instantly upon the floor. He gave a faint cry, "Oh! I'm murdered!" and never spoke again. I rushed forward at once, along with several others, and seized the man. He offered no resistance whatever, but calmly placed the pistol on the table beside him and said, "I know what I have done. It was a private injury, not towards the nation." Mr. Perceval was lifted up and carried into the Speaker's room. His waistcoat was opened, and we found the bullet had entered his left breast and gone straight through his heart. He died within a few minutes. The whole House was in confusion, members rushing out, some calling for a surgeon, others for the guard. The assassin stood quietly by while he was secured, showing neither fear nor remorse. His name, he said, was John Bellingham.
I was stationed inside the lobby of the House of Commons that evening, about 5 o'clock. Mr. Perceval had just entered from the passage leading up from Palace Yard. He was only a few paces inside when I saw a man, a stranger to me, step out from the benches by the left-hand wall. Without a word, he drew a pistol from beneath his coat and fired at the Prime Minister. The flash and report was so sudden that, for a moment, no one moved. Mr. Perceval threw up his hands, uttered a cry, something like, "Oh God," and fell backward onto the floor. The man who fired the shot made no attempt to escape. He turned quite coolly toward the bench behind him and placed the pistol down upon it. I and Mr. Trower ran forward and seized him by both arms. He said, in a very steady voice, "I am the unfortunate man." I asked him, "Do you know what you have done?" He answered, "I know it. I have been wronged. This is the only way justice could be had." We searched him and found another loaded pistol in his coat pocket, but he made no effort to use it. He stood quietly until the officers came to take him away. His manner was calm, even cold. Not that of a madman, but a man resolved upon his purpose. Mr. Perceval was carried into the adjoining room, but he was gone before the surgeon arrived. The whole place was in an uproar, members crying out, clerks running for help, and messengers sent to Downing Street. In all my years I have never seen such a sight within those walls.
I had entered the lobby but a few moments before the fatal occurrence. The House was just assembling for the evening's sitting, and several members stood conversing in small groups. I saw Mr. Perceval advancing through the outer door, his countenance cheerful as ever, a packet of papers in his right hand. He was about to pass into the chamber when a man of plain dress, who had been loitering near the left-hand wall, suddenly stepped forward. Without any warning, I heard the discharge of a pistol. The sound reverberated through the lobby like a cannon in a vault. The flash was directly before my eyes. Mr. Perceval stopped short, pressed his hand to his breast, and sank backwards upon the floor, exclaiming faintly, "Oh, my God!" There was, for a second or two, a dreadful silence, that stillness which follows shock, and then an uproar as men rushed from every direction. I went instantly to Mr. Perceval's side. His face had already turned ashen, his eyes half closed. We raised him carefully and bore him to the Speaker's room, where Dr. Lynn and other gentlemen endeavoured to assist, but the wound was mortal. The ball had entered just above the heart and passed through the body. Meanwhile, others seized the assassin, who stood calm and composed, not attempting flight. When questioned, he replied in a deliberate tone, "I know what I have done. I am sorry for the necessity, but I have been denied justice." I confess that I trembled as I looked upon him. Never did I see a man more perfectly collected after such a deed. His eyes were steady, his manner almost mild, as though he had merely accomplished a task long in preparation. The scene was dreadful, members pale with horror, some weeping openly, the noise of running feet and the echo of the shot still hanging in the vaulted roof. In all my life, I had never witnessed so awful and sudden a catastrophe. The head of the government struck down before us in an instant by a single pistol shot. I was upon duty in the lobby that evening, standing close by the folding doors which opened from the passage leading up from Palace Yard. It was about 5 o'clock, and several members had just arrived. I saw the Right Honourable Mr. Perceval enter alone. He came up the steps with a quick step, as was his habit, nodding to one or two gentlemen as he passed. At that instant, a man, whom I had observed sitting quietly on one of the benches for some minutes before, rose up and stepped directly in front of him. He lifted his right hand, and before a word could be spoken, there was a flash, a loud report, and Mr. Perceval staggered backward. He gave a low cry, "Oh!" murdered, and fell heavily to the ground. I rushed forward at once. Mr. Perceval lay motionless, his face pale, his right hand still clutched about his papers, now stained with blood. The man who had fired the shot stood scarcely 3 feet away, holding the smoking pistol. He made no move to flee. Instead, he turned calmly and placed the weapon upon the bench beside him. Several of us seized him immediately. He said, in a composed voice, "It is unfortunate, but I could not obtain justice otherwise." He was searched, and a second loaded pistol was found in his pocket. During all this, he remained perfectly tranquil, neither struggling nor showing fear. He even adjusted his coat as though to tidy himself. The body of Mr. Perceval was carried into the adjoining room, and a surgeon was sent for, but he was quite dead within minutes. The sight was shocking beyond description. Many who were present wept openly. It was as though all sense of order and safety had been struck down with him. The assassin was then taken in custody through the same passage by which Mr. Perceval had entered, the crowd in Palace Yard parting in silence as he passed.